Good evening. It's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook Live and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully, I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast. But if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our headlines and what we're tracking out through the rest of this evening. Now that cold front has cleared off to our east, those clouds are beginning to clear as well. Hopefully you're able to take a look at that gorgeous sunset we had just about a few hours ago. Vibrant pinks and oranges were being observed all over the place. If you do have any pictures of that sunset, please feel free to send them to us via our website. But we'll continue to see clearing skies overnight tonight, and winds out of the northwest will drop temperatures back down into the lower 40s. So it is going to be pretty chilly out there overnight into early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, with plentiful sunshine, we'll still only warm up into the upper 50s. So it is going to be cooler out there for Easter Sunday. And then looking ahead to next week, it's going to stay pretty dry as well. Not much in the way of rain chances until we get into next weekend. So I'll break down all those details for you in the weather show. But let's get a look at what's going on out here right now across the country. Pretty dry east of the or west of the Mississippi River. Areas to the east, though, pretty wet still. Again, we had that band of rain move through the tri-state starting this morning. It continued on and off through the afternoon. It is now just finally cleared out to our east. Still some lingering cloud cover out there this evening, but as we go through the rest of the night tonight, that will gradually decrease from northwest to southeast. And areas that are still seeing a few sprinkles or some light showers, areas like Davis and Ohio County, even up towards Hancock County, still getting a few sprinkles out there. Everywhere else, though, it is nice and dry. Taking a look at our rainfall amounts that we saw over the last 24 hours here, many of us picked up anywhere between a half an inch up to an inch in some locations. There were even a few spots that maybe saw just a touch over an inch, especially out towards Ohio County. They had a little bit of a heavier band of rain set up and train over the same area, so maybe even closer to 2 inches in some spots. So a good soaker for our Saturday. Definitely put a damper on any outdoor plans you may have had, at least for the first half of Easter weekend. But thankfully, as we get into tomorrow, we will eventually clear out of the clouds and we will remain dry through the entire day. Mostly sunny skies can be expected through Easter Sunday here, but you'll notice again those wind barbs coming up out of the northwest throughout the day on Sunday. That is going to keep things cool, but then they do change direction coming up from the southwest again by the time we get into Monday. So we'll see another brief warm up there for the start of the work week. Our highs today, we topped out in the 70s, but that was actually earlier this morning before that front even came through. So as that front came through this morning, temperatures have been steadily decreasing through the afternoon. And currently, temperatures are now sitting mostly in the upper 40s to lower 50s, maybe even a few spots still hanging on to the mid 50s there across western Kentucky. 55 in Madisonville and Dundee, 52 here in Evansville. The cold spot on the map to our northwest up towards Fairfield, sitting at around 48 degrees. Overnight tonight, we'll see temps dropping down into the lower 40s with winds out of the northwest between 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that's what's going to keep things cool out there. So as you head out the door early tomorrow morning for any Easter Mass, you definitely want to grab a jacket. It is going to be chilly out there, and you may want to hold on to it through much of the day, especially if you're doing anything outdoors. We'll only warm up into the upper 50s to around 60 degrees in many locations, but at least it's going to be sunny out there, so no issues with any cloud cover or rain to deal with. And we'll stay fairly dry through much of next week, but our temperatures are going to fluctuate a little bit, so we'll stay right around average or slightly below here headed into Monday and Tuesday. Overnight lows dropping down into the upper 30s Monday morning and again on Tuesday morning, maybe even into Wednesday morning. So it will be a couple of chilly starts there through the first half of the work week, and then we'll start to see temperatures climbing back up above average through the 70s by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even into next weekend. But looking at the temperature trends here from the Climate Prediction Center headed into the middle of the month, it looks like many of us will be seeing above average temperatures, especially here in the Mississippi and Ohio River Valley and much of the southeastern United States, highlighted in a greater potential to see above average temperatures through April 18th. In terms of precipitation chances, as I mentioned before, it does look like we'll enter a little bit more of a tranquil pattern here for at least the next 7 days. Looking at models, nothing really gets active again until we get into next weekend and into the following week. So this whole entire week here looks pretty dry with mostly sunny skies. A few passing clouds from time to time, but nothing too crazy that's going to block out the sun entirely. But looking at our precipitation outlook here through the middle of the month, you'll notice this area of darker greens setting up just to our west and to our north. So similar to what we had happen this week, where a lot of those frontal boundaries kind of lifted up through Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and into Illinois. We'll likely see another pattern like that set up again. So we'll still get into some of that action, but it doesn't look like we'll be right in the middle of it all. So our precipitation outlook does show we'll maybe be slightly above average in terms of that rainfall. Now, taking a look at next weekend. So this is starting Saturday. We'll have another cold front drop down from the north that may bring in a few isolated showers, maybe a few sprinkles there for the first half of the weekend. And then it looks like we'll stay mostly dry throughout the day of Sunday, next Sunday, before we see another area of rain begin to slip in from the west. And that's really going to kick us off for next week. And that's where we'll see, again, that potential for more active weather, at least off to our west and to our north. But as those areas of low pressure slide up to our west, we could get, nicked by a couple of those rain showers. So doesn't look like anything too crazy as of right now. And again, that is far out in the forecasting period. So looking at the next 7 days here, it looks pretty dry out there. Again, temperatures are going to be cooler to start out the work week, especially for tomorrow, for Easter Sunday, only into the upper 50s. But then we'll be right around average by the time we get into Monday, topping out in the low to mid 60s before cooling back down briefly there on Tuesday, topping out in the upper 50s. And then it's going to be 70s and upwards from there, headed into the end of the work week and into next weekend. But let's see. Checking out the comments here. Laura Gray, she's watching from Dawson Springs. Thank you for joining us. Suzanne, good evening to you. A rainy day off and on it was. Cheyenne, good evening to you. Zach, good evening. Jeanette, good evening. William was hoping for a little bit more rain, but he picked up about 0.46 inches by Bosse Field. No thunder to report. Yes. Some areas did get a little bit of thunder, especially over western Kentucky earlier this afternoon, but it looks like a lot of that stayed to our west and to our south. And Carolyn says, Happy Easter. She is watching from Hopstad. Yes, Happy Easter to you as well. That's all I've got here for the forecast, so I'm going to hop off the live stream, and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe, have a great rest of your Saturday night, and have a happy Easter.